Hey guys, it's Kelly and welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing a very fun video because we are going to do a comparison between the Mercedes GLS and the BMW X7. I have two very updated and very thorough tours of both of these cars, so I thought instead of reinventing the wheel, let's do a deep dive and really compare these two very popular, very expensive luxury three-row SUVs. If this is your first time joining me, hey, I'm Kelly and I'm the car mom. I review cars for moms and for families. I'm a mom of four and I'm a certified child passenger safety tech. Let's get started. Now, the difficult part about comparing these two cars is they can be spec'd out 6 ways to Sunday, right? Between trim levels, colors, engines, packages, these two cars can really be equipped so many different ways. I unfortunately was not able to find a very good apples to apples comparison features or performance wise. So we're gonna really take a very family focused approach and really decide which one of these cars would be better for you as a mom or a dad. There are also several great comparison videos of these two cars that do deep dives into trim levels, performance, aesthetics, things like that. So we're going to kind of take more of a bird's eye view and just focus on the family-friendly features. But starting off, let's take a look at this GLS exterior. Now, this one that we're reviewing is a 580 4MATIC, so it is a big engine, it's four-wheel drive, and it's got this upgraded paint color, which is stunning. This paint color costs you about an extra $6,500, but let me tell you something, it is a good green. In terms of overall aesthetics, I think the GLS is beautiful. What's very interesting about the GLS is it's actually the biggest of the mid-size luxury SUVs. So it is bigger than the X7, it is bigger than the Lexus TX. Not by a ton, but where it matters, you're definitely going to notice that this car is a little bit bigger. So something to think about as comparing the two, if you're after the most space, but you don't want something as big as a Navigator or an Escalade, the GLS is kind of your last stepping stone until you get to that full-size market. Okay, next let's take a look at this BMW exterior. Now, both of these cars underwent pretty significant refreshes or redesigned for the 2024 model year, and they're both rumored to have some upgrades happening for 2027 as well. Overall though, I think the BMW exterior is a little better. That's just my opinion. People are gonna feel differently. I think it feels more sporty, more updated, where I feel like the GLS, it keeps some of the rounder elements, and it looks like it could have been a car from, let's say, 2019, where this feels very 2026, especially what BMW has done with their headlights on this latest refresh. They're sleek, they're small, they're just very updated. So let me know in the comments below which exterior you like better, but I'm gonna give a point to the BMW. Okay, let's move on to the driver's comfort features of these two cars. We're gonna start with the door panel. Now, both of these cars, beautifully designed. I mean, hello, they're $100,000 plus. We've got a nice exposed grain wood trim, a ton of chrome, very deep side cubbies. I want you to take a look at that. It's a giant water bottle and that fits beautifully. It does take some getting used to that you control the seats from here versus down here, something to be mindful of. Heated seats and ventilated seats available on this car as well. And I love how this lock button was kind of tucked back underneath there. Overall, door panel, stunning. Okay, so now let's take a look at the door panel of this BMW X7. It's definitely a lot more basic. I think when you just compare the two, the Mercedes was screaming luxury around every corner. This looks more mass market to me. It looks a little sportier to me, which is fine because there's a lot to talk about with this car. This is just a little bit more basic. Side cubby, this does work. It's not quite as much storage, but that large Stanley still fits fine. But one feature I do love on the door panel is the fact that you can actually control the second row sunshades from the driver's seat. The GLS does not have sunshades. The X7 does, and I love that they're power. I haven't seen this in a lot of cars, and I feel like for a mom, it's so frustrating when your kids have the sunshades and then they want to roll the window down and then you have that thing flapping in the wind. So to be able to lower that from the driver's seat feels huge. Okay, in terms of my comfort, it's a very comfortable seat. It's like I said, it's a very big car, so I have good shoulder room, good head clearance, and the seat is nice. It's very wide and flat. I'm comfortable. And it comes with these pillows on the driver's seats and the driver and passenger seats, which are it's almost too much. I almost when my head hits it, I'm not exaggerating, I almost get a little bit tired. So I honestly don't love it for the driver. I think it's a fun add-on for the passenger to have, but also, I could see it getting kind of gross or sweaty, and I don't know, cloth like this long-term probably isn't gonna hold up the best. So I think it's a fun, kitschy feature to have. Probably not all that practical though. I really wanna talk about these seats because here's the deal with BMW seats. BMW, way more than Mercedes, is a sports car, okay? They're these performance-based driving machines, and that's very apparent in their seats because it's way more of a sports style. The seat hugs you in very specific ways. It contours more, and it's not that it's not as comfortable, it's just a little firmer and more contoured, whereas the GLS kind of felt to me, a fluffy recliner. This feels way more structured. So some people are gonna like that, some people are not. It's Kind of a stark difference though when you're sitting in both of them. Now the BMW doesn't have a pillow, but it has these these giving airline, which don't do this if you're the driver. But that's pretty comfortable for the passenger, and they're attached to the seat. They're still the leather, so that feels good. Okay, we're back in the GLS, and we are gonna break down the infotainment system and the cup holders and the storage features of this first row. So, heads-up display, huge curved display. Technically not 2 screens, but they're kind of giving that illusion, which I do like. Overall, I feel like the infotainment system is fine, is the biggest understatement of the world. I think it's a little slow, a little lagging. It's just not that inspired. It's not even that good looking. I don't like that this is the home screen. I don't know. There's something I'm just not loving about it. But of course you have your Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. So if you don't like the screen, make it your phone screen. That's what I would be doing. And then we go into this very interesting 4 vents plus vents on both the sides. So a lot of ventilation for the driver. I think these 4 vents right here. It's interesting how they didn't even try to hide them. I feel like now I'm seeing a lot of cars try to integrate them more into the dash. And, maybe this would have been the vent. But they're no, here are the vents. Have fun. They've still pulled out all of our climate control, which I really like. Toggles right here. They make a very nice sound. Do you hear that? That's awesome. And then we go into some of our storage. So here's that exposed wood trim. I mean, it feels like a nice hardwood. I would have my floors this color. And it's actually a different wood. I guess it's not a different wood, but this one is, what would you say? This is pieces, which is kind of an interesting touch. Kind of a high-end touch. I actually really like that. And then we go into our wireless charger, USB-Cs, 2 cup holders that are cooled and heated, which is a fun feature. And then we go into the biggest waste of space, which is this trackpad. Now this is a touchscreen, but you also have a trackpad. And it's just not my favorite. I'm telling you, I just don't know why I would use this and just not this. I think we're now so accustomed to the screens. I'd so much rather just have this be more storage. This takes up so much room. I mean, you have this giant trackpad plus this giant wrist thing and these handles. This whole thing, in my opinion, could be done better. And I just think it's kind of a waste of space. Because then look at this tiny center console. Imagine if I can't get that out. Okay, tiniest center console. Imagine if you could just have all this be storage. And then you go back here, and this is bizarre. This is bizarre. Now, I've tested several things in this cup holder. Here's what it can fit. It can fit a baby bottle, a Dr. Brown baby bottle. It can fit energy drinks, like a Celsius or an Alani. And then you have a small cup holder here. Design-wise, it's driving me crazy. I just don't like how it looks. I also don't like that if it's designed for a Celsius and it's all the way back here, this is not a fun user experience. And my kids aren't drinking energy drinks. So I'm not even mad that they're going to have that. This would be, I'd prefer a regular cup holder, because what this does up here, do you see how these things come out so far? You could still put a slim can here and it's not going to fly around. So it's just kind of silly, and I don't like it. And it is of course minor, and I'm not saying it's a deal breaker, but it's definitely a disadvantage. Okay, now we are in the interior of this BMW X7, and the screens look very similar, right? It's a curved display. It's technically not 2, but it looks really nice. But then things get really different. So first thing I want to point out is the climate control in the X7 is all built in. It stays at the bottom, which I do appreciate. Oops, hold on. So no matter where I go to, it's going to stay here. And then look at how much more integrated these vents are in. So we still have the vents on the side, but these things are definitely more hidden. It's a glossy wood trim, and then we kind of go into this faux carbon fiber-esque design. It's definitely giving a lot more sporty, whereas the Mercedes is so much more luxurious. This is sports. Yay, sports. Similar thing here. You can hide your wireless charger, your 2 cup holders. I do believe the X7 does have heated and cooled cup holders available. We just don't have it on this specific trim level. This is one of the actually lower trims. This one is only $96,000. Similar though with the Mercedes, it's a lot of wasted space right here. I actually do, I'm gonna sound like such a hypocrite, but I actually do prefer the iDrive. I find this to be a lot more user-friendly because you're twisting versus doing something on a very sensitive trackpad. I actually do like this better, but again, this is also a touchscreen, so I think if you're gonna get used to something, I'd rather get used to more cup holders here. We do have a very similar size center console, so again, kind of lacking in storage for this 3-row SUV. And then, as much as I hated those Mercedes cup holders, at least they had something, because we have nothing back here for cup holders on this BMW X7. So I think interior-wise, they both have pros and cons, but if I'm thinking about, so interesting, because I think the technology is better on the BMW, but I think the interior design is better on the Mercedes. So 1 point BMW, 1 point Mercedes. Okay, now we're gonna get into the meat and potatoes of this tour, which is the second and third row trunk space and car seat setup, the things that you're probably tuning in for. The GLS, and I have the captain's chairs in this version, but the GLS is actually a 3 across machine. So my last GLS tour that we'll link in the description box below, I go through several 3 across combinations that work in that car. If you're looking to do 3 across in the mid-size luxury market, it's all coming up GLS for me. Like the bench seat is light years better than the X7. Like this is the one to do 3 across in. So we're gonna focus on what's here with the captain's chairs. In the GLS, and this is a 6-passenger car, you get the bench at 7, there's 2 seats in the third row, we have 6 seats total in this vehicle. Every seat has its own set of lower anchors and tether anchors, which is incredible, which is versatile, which we love to see. I brought 3 different car seats here just to kind of give you an idea of the different ways that you could install things. I have a forward-facing seat, a rotating rear-facing seat, and a booster in the third row. Second row legroom is 41.9 inches, which is pretty nice. The BMW is only 37 inches, so you're definitely gonna have more legroom in the second row. Only by, what did I say, like 3 or 4 inches, but that can make a really big difference if you have a taller driver, or you have taller passengers, like maybe kids, or you have big rear-facing car seats like this one. So anyway, this is a Graco Easy Turn. This is a rotating car seat that's not very compact front to back. I have that seat set for a fairly tall driver like myself, and I have quite a few inches of clearance. What I really like about rotating seats is they offer a ton of versatility for that third row access. So I could flip this forward facing, and now I could easily access the third row. But the GLS also comes equipped with a car seat tilt. Now it's a miserable car seat tilt because look at, first of all, that has to go down, that headrest, to do the tilt, and it's slow as can be. Like literally couldn't be slower. But it does technically have it. So it's not so if you had the bench seat, you could access the third row with car seats. I don't think, truthfully, it could be like an everyday car line type thing, but it is nice to have if you need it. Okay, now let's break down the car seat setup in the BMW X7. Now, the bench seat is standard in this car, but unfortunately, it is not the 3 across machine that the GLS is. I have tried several 3 across combinations in the X7, and I haven't had any luck. So this would not be my pick for 3 across. The GLS is totally gonna win that. Now you can get captain's chairs in the BMW. It is an upgrade, so the bench is actually going to be the more common one that you're going to find. And like I said, some combinations may work. I have yet to find one. So even if one can fit, that doesn't guarantee that all of your kids' combinations are going to fit. So just proceed with caution. But with just installing 2 car seats here, things installed beautifully. We have 3 sets of lower anchors, tether anchors on both outboard seats. We have that Graco Easy Turn with plenty of clearance, as well as Graco Extended Fit installed forward facing with clearance as well. Third row access, it does have the car seat tilt. So that's something to write home about. You also only have 2 seats in the third row like we found in the GLS, okay? Both seats in the third row have their own set of lower anchors and tether anchors, so good versatility for car seats there, but you're definitely going to be lacking in the third row legroom. Okay, so here we are in the GLS, second row, and notably the seats are so firm, which I normally wouldn't call out, but they're hard. Like, they are very hard. I would say ventilation-wise, amenities-wise, I'm very impressed. We have 3 different points of ventilation: ceiling, side, center console. That is possibly best in class. I'm so thrown off by doing my thing over here. Legroom with the seat pushed all the way back, swimming in it. So comfortable. Love my armrest right here. The captain's chairs feel great. I have my climate control down here. Misses these, like, hello. This car's $123,000. I can't even get a leather back pocket. Okay, kind of crazy. Okay, I was wondering what that was. Underneath there, we've got 2 USB-Cs. I honestly hate that it's like, I find that honestly to be kind of silly because it's just like another thing to do and they should just be exposed. Like, that doesn't bother me at all. Very nice deep side cubby, good head clearance. I mean, great leg room back here. It feels very comfortable and I'm impressed with all the ventilation. When it comes to comfort features in this car, they are a little different than the Mercedes as well. We do have the nice built-in sunshades. Sorry, the nice oh, that's so interesting. Look at this. This button controls the sunroof, the sunshade up there. Oh, I really like that. So that you can actually control the sunshade from the second row, which I actually do really like. And then we have our built-in sunshades as well. So a lot of controls back here for the passenger, honestly. But one thing you're desperately lacking in the BMW X7 is ceiling vents in the second row. And it's so crazy because they're actually in the third row, but not the second row. Now, you may not have ceiling vents, but I do want to point out that you do still have 2 points of ventilation one at the bottom of the center console, and one on the side pillar. So still good air circulation, but again, just for those rear facing kids in those hotter climates, they might get a little hot because there's no direct ventilation here. And so ironic that you have them in the third row. In the bench seat, if I pull this down, it opens up our nice 2 cup holders right here. And then you can actually put this whole thing down entirely. Don't exactly know what you would use that for. I guess if you're like holding some specific cargo and you need something, you could maybe use it as third row access point. I don't know, kind of interesting. Because besides that, so other comfort features. Your other comfort features include heated seats, your own climate control, 2 USBs down here, everything's pretty standard. This is an iPad hookup, so you do have a charging here, and then you could put a mount there for your own rear entertainment system. The thing I hate about the X7, I truly hate, loathe, is everything in here is power, and it's clunky, and it doesn't make sense. So like to tilt this, my driver's seat has to move forward. Like, come on, like just tilt. Okay, and so that's gonna lay it all the way flat, which is actually not what I was trying to do. I thought I was accessing the third row. But inside, what button did I hit? This one? Do you see what I mean? It's just like, okay, here I am in the third row of the GLS, and I have a booster seat installed here. And I chose the booster for a couple of reasons to put back here. One, I've been putting my 6-year-old in it, but it also has lower anchors in the third row of this GLS, which is awesome because a booster like this Diono Cambria 2 has a latch attachment as an added safety and comfort feature. An added safety and convenience feature. So I love those are available on both seats, and these third row headrests are removable. We also have pretty nice amenities back here, like these ceiling vents, 2 USB-Cs on both sides, so that's 4 total back here, which is like probably more than you'd need. And then we have 2 cup holders on either side as well. Legroom is okay. This is with the seat pushed all the way back, and my knees aren't even touching. So I'm pretty comfortable. The seats also, if you can see, they're nice and wide. Again, that's a good decision when they only put 2 seats back here, because then you're not sitting on buckles, you're comfortable. And even next to a bulky booster like this, I feel like it feels pretty good. Okay, so I definitely have less legroom in the X7. It's actually only about an inch, so it's 33.3 inches back here, 34 inches in the GLS. The GLS though felt bigger, and I don't know, maybe it was the width, or maybe it was that extra inch that kind of just made the difference, because I feel a little tighter back here, but I honestly still feel pretty comfortable. Love the ceiling vents back here. We have our cup holders, so there is charging, just one USB-C on both sides. But some other nice amenities in the third row is I actually have my own sunroof. So the GLS just has that panel, but I have my own roof back here, which is kind of fun. Oh, here it is. That's really nice, honestly, I love that. And we have our own climate control. So that's 4-zone climate control, because your second row has some, and then your third row does as well. So that is definitely a nice feature. And I'm actually pretty comfortable. I really wish I had the captain's chairs to do a better comparison. But I think if you're looking at versatility and car seat friendliness, it's definitely going to be the GLS, just for how nice that bench seat is. Third row amenities though, I'm going to give it to the X7. Second row amenities, I'm going to give it to the GLS because of the ceiling vents, but I'm mad that they don't have the sunshades. So I do think it's a give and take in the second and third row. Trunk space in these cars is actually quite different. I say that. The GLS is 5 cubic feet more than the BMW. So you're talking about 17 cubic feet here, which is on the smaller side, because the Lexus TX has 20 cubic feet of trunk space. So only 17 here, but I was able to fit this Baby Vista stroller with the third row up, so that's impressive. The BMW only has 12.7 cubic feet, and I think there's no way this is gonna fit. Good. Okay, I honestly didn't think that it was gonna fit in the trunk. This split tailgate I think is helping a ton because it's like keeping it in place. And I also just love a split tailgate. Oh yeah, can I close it? I think with it just like a very friendly, like, you can do it. Oh no, I can't. Okay, no, never mind. Yeah, it doesn't fit. It's this wheel that's just a little too high. So the Vista wheels are easy enough to remove. So I wonder if that'll make a difference. But I mean, still, like, who wants to do that? Like, one more thing to do. Okay, so that works. So that's good to know. So, you know, you're losing 5 cubic feet. I think you can feel it. I think the split tailgate definitely will help keep more usable space with the trunk, and I like that these are both power as well. So then this comes down, extends it. It honestly makes it very easy to load. So a feature that I do like about the X7 is, for as much as I was knocking on the buttons in the second row, they do have this fun feature that's max seating or max cargo. So if I hit this button, max cargo, Okay, there we go. So now we have max cargo, and I'm gonna really give this car a workout because if I hit max passengers, all the seats will come up by themselves. Now, that's about the only thing that's decently labeled on this entire car because I have no idea which seat is which on these, like literally no idea. And I don't have the time for the trial and error based on how long this takes. But I thought that was kind of cool. Ton of extra storage underneath here as well as our cargo cover. BMWs don't come with spare tires because they have run flat tires, fun fact. And then we can use our power tailgate, which that's quick. That's only the quick thing in this car. Okay, so that's gonna wrap up this comparison video of the BMW X7 and the Mercedes-Benz GLS. Let me know in the comments below if you like these types of videos and if I should do more of them, and if you like them, which cars should I compare next? I'm so anxious to hear your thoughts in the comments below, but I think if I had to buy a car, as much as it pains me to say it, I would do a Mercedes GLS.